What's up? We're live. Live. Very live. So live. And we're talking about 5 rules. This is me, WB Knobloch, on Instagram and Twitter. 5 rules for Amazon pallets, for buying Amazon pallets, specifically for selling them as well, because you don't want to buy them and hold on to them. Otherwise, you get a warehouse like this. Just kidding. I left my paper right there. I'll get it in a second. Buying pallets can be such a confusing, thing to do, because essentially you're just saying, okay, here's my money, send me stuff that I haven't seen, and I'm gonna sell that. And so you're kind of putting, it's so dark in here. I'm gonna turn the light on. Chase, you turn the light on for me real quick. One of the other lights. And so you're putting your trust in a stranger, and if you don't do your due diligence, you might get burned. And no one wants to get burned. So this is a live stream. People are still coming in, but I'm just gonna get right into it. That's better, I think, right? And if you have any questions about the whole process, feel free to ask them during the show. If you could say question before the super chat, or not super chat, sorry, before the chat in the feed, it helps me scroll through afterwards and find it easier. So if you have a question, please type question first, and I will answer it after this brief seminar is over. So, again, 5 rules for buying pallets. Rule number 1, don't expect it all to be good. You want to expect some duds. You want to expect some duds. Pallets are a number game. You get a pallet with 1,000 items. They're not all going to be brand new, spanking in the package, brand spanking new in the package. It's just not going to be like that. It's going to be a lot more mixture of new stuff, like new, acceptable, and trash. You're going to have a lot of trash. That's just the way it goes. And so don't get discouraged if you're halfway through your pallet and it's all trash, because that's the way they are. I mean, probably in our pallets, I'd say we throw away probably a third, almost half of the items we get on the truckloads, just because so much, or donate it to a Goodwill if you can. So much is just, not the best stuff in the world. Number 2, it's about electronics. So electronics, boom or bust. And by that, what I mean is it's very, very appealing to sell electronics, right? Because when you see the ASINs or the sales ranks or the eBay sales, whatever platform you're selling on, you're going to see a lot of them. But the thing about pallets of electronics is, unless they are brand new in the box, you're going to have to test everything. One of the benefits of general merchandise pallets is that there's not, you don't have to test them really. Like if you get, let's say a pallet full of books, for example, there's no testing books. A pallet full of like backpacks or shoes or whatever. I guess for shoes you want to examine to make sure they're not swapped out. But for electronics, let's say you got a pallet of VCRs and they're not new. We do this as well. We buy from recycling companies around the country. And when we get those pallets of electronics, not an Amazon pallet, but still you can make money doing it this way too, you have to check every single one. Because what happens is if you send in 5 bad ones, and you sell 5 in a row on Amazon, for example, and they all get returned as defective, that's really going to hurt your account and possibly suspend it. Same thing with eBay. You're going to get bad feedback. Whereas with general merchandise, hard goods, that kind of stuff, the range at which they can be broken, upon just like looking at them, is much, much more narrow. And so it's a faster job. The third one is be prepared and understand freight costs. So that's, I'll just say freight costs, because they vary a lot. Freight costs are so important. Let's say you've got you live in a suburban area, 45 miles from the nearest expressway ramp. That's going to cost you a lot more for one pallet residential liftgate delivery than someone like me, for example, where I'm a quarter mile from an expressway and we've got a freight hub right there. I still use liftgate delivery here. Fingers crossed it's going to be over. Next year I'm getting a bigger warehouse, but for now, we have to do liftgate too. And if you're buying onesie, twosie pallets at a time, the freight costs can kill it. I mean, if you're buying a pallet for $600, let's say it's a sorted pallet from VIA Trading in California, and you live in Detroit like I do, it's going to cost you $600 to freight it to you. Whereas if you got 5 or 10 pallets, the cost per pallet is going to lower down to around, $200 around there. So really, really important to understand that on top of the actual pallets or gaylords you're buying, the more you buy, the better deal you're going to get on freight. And this seems like basic economics, right? But if you're doing something so new, like buying pallets, it's very easy to make this mistake your first or second time, and it eats your money up. The fourth thing is speed, not squeeze. So speed, not squeeze. And that might sound like it doesn't make any sense to you, but what I'm saying it as and what it means is you want to speed through your inventory, not squeeze out every dime. Again, if you're getting 5,000 units in 5 pallets, and the average value per unit is $12 or whatever it doesn't make sense to try and get 14 out of there, because you could use your money more efficiently afterwards on $50 items or $100 items or whatever it is. And so you don't want to get caught up in the idea of, oh, well, if I sell this, if I hold out for 6 months and sell this one, old video game or whatever on eBay, I'll make $6 more, because that space, you have to take into account how much space costs you, how much the space is worth, and what you can do with the money in the future. And so the reason I have aardvarklots.com, where you can buy your own pallets or cubes as well, is because for me, for my business, it makes so much more sense just to sell things as fast as we can. Even if I haven't, sure, it makes more sense to go through every pallet, right? If I had an infinite amount of space, time, and money, but I don't. And so it's just it's a very different, a different mentality that you're going to see bring you a lot more profit overall. It might be, a lower net profit per item, but your total profit at the end of the year is going to be a lot higher. It's the idea of not saving a dime. I'm sorry, not spending $1 to save a dime. It's the kind of thing I harp on a lot, but it's really, really important. You want to make sure that you're getting your money's worth. And you want to make sure that you're also not wasting time trying to get 5% more. It's just not worth it. And the final thing is, don't invest money you can't lose. Now, that's a good business tip for any advice. Don't invest money you need. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. Excuse me. Don't invest money that you absolutely need. Pallets, again, it's not a guaranteed. It isn't like, excuse me. It isn't like a savings account at your bank. You're not going to get a guaranteed return. You're taking a risk. And if you don't have the know-how or the space, or maybe your account gets banned, or maybe you get sick, or maybe it gets damaged in transit to you, you could lose all of your money. Now, that's not going to happen every single time. If it did, people like me wouldn't be in business. But it is a thing you have to be aware of, and I don't want to let anyone believe the fallacy that pallets are a guaranteed way to make money. They're absolutely not. You're going to see a bunch of videos of people making a bunch of money on pallets, but just keep in mind that just like everything else on social media, you're probably only seeing the top, 10, 5% of what they do. Maybe, I'm just pulling this number out of my ass. I don't know. But just like everything else on social media, always take people's benefits and their profits with a grain of salt. Because, like I said, you don't want to think, oh, well, these pallets are all guaranteed wins. I'll just buy 100 of them. And then they end up, you end up going massively in debt and losing all your money. Not the best thing for you. Just a quick video. If anybody has any questions who's here, not the most people here right now, but there are some people. And so if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I think someone said, so usually 30 to half are usually duds. So obviously I'm going to be giving you a more pessimistic response. Like personally, as someone who sells pallets myself, I don't want to overpromise what is going to be in them. And even if you don't buy it from me, I don't want to be giving out information that seems like it's too rosy. I don't want to make it seem like I'm giving you a get-rich-quick scheme. And so that 30 to half being duds, that's a safe number. Obviously, we've had some pallets where 95% were all winners. And we've had some pallets where, like, yeah, half we had to throw out just because it was broken or because it was not worth our time to list individually because it was, you know, a $2 item or whatever. And so it's not like, again, it isn't like a promise that they're all going to be half duds, but it's just prepare yourself for the possibility of it not being good. And then Nolan said, "What's up, Walter?" Hey, what's up, Nolan? Good to have you here. I think I'm going to end the video pretty quick. I just wanted to hop on here for 10 minutes and just give you an idea of my rules for buying pallets. I want to do more pallet type videos because that's where my business is transitioning. Not only Amazon pallets, but also Walmart pallets, Home Depot pallets, Target pallets, just books, massive amounts of books. I'm working on a deal right now for about 80,000 pounds of books. So those bulk buys, that way to scale your business, that's kind of the path I want to go. I'm still going to try and do little short videos like this where I just give you the information right away. But as my business grows, again, I feel more comfortable talking about things that I'm currently doing. So thanks for being here. If you watch it afterwards, comment below with any questions you have. I answer really quick. And give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys later.